Hey guys, welcome back to another week of the Cyber Unfiltered podcast. I'm sure it's going to be a enlightening week of cyber issues again.
What?
It's
But
always a
isn't it
dumpster
always?
fire.
It's a boring industry. Nothing happens. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh boy.
Nothing ever happens. It's always boring.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, why don't we start with the story that keeps giving?
Oh, Jaguar Land Rover? You want me to start there?
Sure.
Is there an honorable mention from it?
Well, we talked last week about basically they were flying parts across the ocean, right? So there's more to it than that. They got a major win. A few days ago, they had Operation Wiretap. That was coordinated with Interpol, the FBI, and the UK's National Crime Agency. They got 3 people in Spain and Poland they think were part of Scattered Spider, who was responsible for the initial access into JLR. They seized servers containing terabytes of stolen data. Obviously doesn't undo the leak situation, but at least that's a good thing. What's bad for them, though, is right now the ICO, or the UK's Information Commissioner's Office, they sent him a notice of intent that they're going to fine him £45 million.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. The regulators cited negligent network architecture and a failure to implement basic segmentation, which allowed the attackers to move from a third-party supplier into JLR's HR databases. This is the largest GDPR fine in the UK history. Largest fine in the UK history for this type of breach.
So you're getting kicked when they're down on this one.
But I suppose an unprecedented fine can follow an unprecedented outage too.
I mean, just tag that on to their debt at this point for this whole situation. Their net somebody leaked their net promoter score.
Negative?
It's yeah, somehow I don't know much about net promoter score, but like apparently it's -15. I'm gonna go that's not good. It was plus 35 before the attack.
Okay.
High-end Range Rover models cancellations have spiked 12%. Frustrated buyers have defected now to competitors like Porsche and BMW.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, they don't want to wait 6 months for a car.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And you also have to worry, if you get your new car, when can you get parts to fix it? Is there going to be other issues coming down the line?
Well, I mean, they had 40,000 cars that were hung up at dealers waiting for parts.
It's a few.
Yeah. A couple. And it's like, okay, so lawsuit's still going on. We don't have an update there. Yeah, just another week, another couple updates. I mean, it is good they found the people, but again, it doesn't stop the attack. If they found the people that did the initial access, that's great. It stops them from going on to other companies, but like they just rotate through these people anyway. They'll just find more people to help them get that. So
It still doesn't. Finding the people at this point doesn't make it all better.
Yeah. I should do a chart of that customer sentiment though from like the NPS or net promoter score, because it would just be like you have to laugh at some point because like they're getting fined for basically like, yeah, it was a sophisticated attack, but then when you read the fine, it's just like basic segmentation of networks wasn't done.
Yeah.
Which is why they talked about their CISO is gone, stepped down, fired.
Everything could talk to everything, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's part of the world we live in right now. It's something we need to keep learning from, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the JLR update. Again, the gift that keeps us on giving every single week.
It's it's a gift that started in like August,
September. Well, the attack was at the end of August. It started in September when it really.
I mean, it's going to keep giving through Christmas. It's actually a gift now.
Yeah, we're in 3 months.
On it.
Yeah, 100%. We're in 3 months.
Not a gift I want. Anyway,
no,
we're literally a quarter into this.
Wild.
So, yeah.
What else? Who owns attorneygeneral.gov, by the way?
Yeah. Pennsylvania.
What's that to do with my state?
It's the Office of the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. Turns out, had a little issue. We talked about this a little bit, but we got an update on how the attack happened. So, timeline: the Office of the Attorney General in Pennsylvania had a breach that detected back into August, and I don't know if they said exactly what has been leaked so far. It was Inc. ransomware, though. They did a double extortion, so they exfiltrated data. They apparently got names, social security numbers, and medical information before they encrypted everything. So, yeah, the disruption was for weeks. Well, it turns out it was something that had happened before. So Citrix NetScalers are devices that you can use for secure access into a network, launch applications, VPN, stuff like that. A couple of years ago, there was Citrix Bleed, which was a vulnerability that allowed people to bypass that, take over NetScalers, and get into the networks. Well, they had Citrix Bleed II this summer. Hopefully, we don't get the so the sequel was as bad as the original. Hopefully, we don't make this a trilogy. We're not looking for a trilogy here, but the sequel is bad. And about a month after it was released, the data and stuff like that, they got hit. So they just didn't patch it.
Well, I think what's important is, sometimes people are a little behind on patches, and I admit it's hard to keep up with everything, but I'm sure they have an IT department or someone that was doing this. And systems like that are public facing on the internet. They basically say, hey, I'm here. So when there's a vulnerability, it's like saying, hey, attack me. And I feel like attorneygeneral.gov was a pretty juicy one for somebody looking for something.
Also, first of all, awesome domain for state to have. Like, I'm thinking
we're an odd state.
Yeah. But this vulnerability was interesting, though. This specific vulnerability allowed somebody to hijack a valid user session. So a user was connected in, and they could hijack that session and be like that user. Yep. Yep.
That's a little more advanced than stealing somebody's session cookie for a web browser.
Yeah. Well, and because they stole an active session, they could bypass multi-factor authentication because the session was already there. So the system thought the hacker was a legitimate employee because they'd already performed the MFA check. So even though they had MFA turned on,
movement or anything, they're just
that's what they got after that, right? Lateral movement from that account. But again, MFA 100% required. I'm sure it was on for these guys because they have Duo. We'll talk about why we know they have Duo in a second. But it doesn't matter when a vulnerability bypasses it. Basic cyber hygiene. Just patch the stuff, especially the stuff accessible to the internet.
And ones like that, you need a patch in,
Yeah. And this, this was being exploited before. It was being exploited technically before they even announced it, but
so once it was announced, it wasn't like hey, this may happen. It was, hey, this
thing
is
get this
happening.
Done. Yeah,
patch or die.
And Citrix, when they have a vulnerability like that, a CVE that's published, they do send emails out. Mm-hmm. So somebody got this.
Yeah,
so they just chose not. They chose not to patch it. But the big thing about this is, and we were joking. So I go pull the DNS for attorneygeneral.gov because I'm like, how did they know they had Citrix? Well, it was called citrixremote.attorneygeneral.gov.
Oh, there you go.
Way to hide it, guys. By the way, it doesn't matter if they hit it or not, but like that's just funny.
And something needs to be public. But the point is, there's what else?
A ton of stuff, right? Like you go pull their DNS. The amount of subdomains they have, like. You could tell that they have legacy.attorneygeneral.gov, mail. Which looks like it used to be an internal Microsoft Exchange server. That's not longer the case. We know they use Microsoft 365 now because, again, you can pull that stuff from just public information on DNS. But they have so many old DNS entries. Mm-hmm. And the thing about that is like, okay, it depends on the DNS entry is. If it goes to an IP address, could you imagine if that IP ever got released, they still had that DNS, somebody could actually hijack that? So I don't know.
It basically, how do we explain that in general? Because
Well, I know that they have
what you're saying, but
I know they have share file.
Yep.
Because they had internal resources tied to it. Because guess what? DNS for that. So let's say they had sharefile.attorneygeneral.gov. Let's say at some point in the future they don't clean this DNS up, but they get different IP addresses. Maybe they change providers. Maybe they own those IPs. I don't know if they own the IPs or not. Whatever. But let's say you as a company has a DNS name like that, and then you change internet providers, and your IP address changes. If they can go get that static IP somehow from somebody, they could then control sharefile.attorneygeneral.gov because it would go to an IP that they control.
They can do a whole lot of things pretending to be you,
right.
Your domain. And that is your asset. That is your identity across the internet. That is a problem.
Exactly. And that's considered name
record. Clean up your shit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. But if they had a C, what if they had a CNAME record where sharefile.attorneygeneral.gov goes to, I don't know, some cloud application, right? And they just stop using that cloud application, but somebody's able to, and they were given a URL on that cloud application. Somebody's able to go register again and take that name, and now that's being redirected. And now they can send emails out looking like they're from the Attorney General and get that stuff. So that's example. It can happen to any company.
This is all hypothetical. We're not actually condoning or recommending how to do this. This is just what happen.
Hey, having uncomfortable conversations on the internet, perfect example, right?
Everything here is hypothetical until some jagoff does it.
So, and the thing about DNS is it shows you a lot about the company, or in this case, a government agency. But like, we know that they're using Apple devices at some point because they have an Apple domain verification, never removed it. There was some sort of Google site verification, maybe they're doing Google Analytics, right? Cisco, Duo, again, all this stuff is public. You can see it, so you know some of the technologies that they use. Well, another way to think about this is, what if you didn't take a legacy system offline, but you left the DNS up and you didn't change the firewall rules, you let people into it? It's an easy way for somebody to go through and maybe try to access a legacy system. Maybe you don't have multi-factor authentication on there. Maybe you thought it was retired, but it's not. That's just another jumping point into your network or into something that you control. Cleaning this stuff up is important. So as you replace things, it's a good, just at least annually review this. Your IT, review it with your IT, have your IT review it, whatever. Review it and make sure you take good care of it. Just take good care of it. Because there's a lot of stuff like on the Attorney General that just doesn't exist anymore. If you try to go to it, it just doesn't exist. But the DNS entries are still there. So
hygiene. We keep coming back to general hygiene of take a shower and wear deodorant.
Well, I mean,
but really, just best practices of things cleans up a lot, can prevent a lot.
One of the things is, like, everybody fears about breaking undocumented dependencies, right? So if they delete like a DNS entry, like, it could break something. Have you ever heard of the scream test?
Oh yeah, you just see who raises their hand.
Right.
Hey, what's this old server? Let's shut it down at 1 p.m. on a Friday and see who screams.
Yeah, a soft delete. Yeah, until you do that, and then somebody's on vacation for 2 weeks, and then.
Well, I'm not saying destroy that server immediately, but at some point you do have to see what relied on it.
So speaking of hygiene, here's an actionable item that we can talk to everybody about is what's in your downloads folder? So many, it's the end of the year. People need to do house cleaning. We don't want to wait till the spring.
It's the last 5 years of W-2s.
Probably. People, guys, if you're downloading stuff, you're using the internet, there's all kinds of stuff probably sitting in your downloads folder. We see it all the time. We, when we're talking to people, we look at the system, and the first thing that we tend to look at is that downloads folder. What's there? How much stuff are your employees storing that isn't secured anymore but personally, like Matt said, your W-2s, your tax returns, you signed off on it. Clean it up. Throw it away, delete it, move on.
Well, and I think a key point, I think I know where you're getting at, Bob. It's not just work PCs. It's, iPads. You know, you're sitting at your kid's iPad and you're like, hey, I need to check this thing for work. Did you download something there that shouldn't stay on that personal device forever for someone else to find someday?
Exactly.
Pro tip,
Your kid's gaming computer. You know, you had to go use it to get something, and you print something out, and it's now sitting there for God knows who else to get on one of those VPN connections that gets set up on the gaming. Anyway, we got a couple weeks left of the year.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I don't have kids, so I don't know who I'm gonna go log into some random device. Seems like that's a bad idea on my side. Hey stranger, can I use your random device standing in the street to go log into my work stuff?
McDonald's kiosk.
I've always been freaked out by the hotel ones, the business centers. It's like, hey, come use our stuff. I'm like,
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not today.
I'll use it to print an itinerary that's public on a website. But like, I'm not putting any of my stuff in there.
But it's the end of the year. People get a little lax. We didn't talk about this really long term, but Hoboken, New Jersey had a cyber attack the day before Thanksgiving. It happens. We don't want to really go in details on that right now, but like these kind of attacks will happen when they are least convenient for you. Much like everything else bad that happens in life, it's never a convenient time for it to happen. How prepared are you? If you're not prepared, it's a good time to start talking about that, especially with maybe the relaxing of the end of the year. You're chilling out. Maybe it's a good time to start planning for next year, planning for how to improve your response time and stuff like that. Maybe just ask yourself, do you have an incident response plan? And if you do, maybe test it. Maybe not live. Don't go plug a server or something.
On Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
When you need it. You want to test it beforehand.
Right.
But you definitely want to do it when you have an outsourced IT company and don't tell them that you're testing it.
You should probably tell them.
Okay, don't listen to me. I'm just a person on the internet giving bad advice. No, it's a good time to test things. At least simulate a test. Go through it. See if it's accurate. It's a good time to update things. So.
Or in Matt's case, you just turn the server off and see what happens.
I just, on a Friday, no less, man. He just give him the weekend and everything. Like
it's also what I do with the internet at my house when kids aren't behaving. All devices just go online and you see who was watching TV or anything.
It's not scream test. That's just the screams just happen immediately. Yeah. I was just saying it's not test. You know what's gonna happen.
Because of course, like a good IT person and good security person, my networks are separate. I can shut all the personal stuff down without touching my work stuff when I'm working from home. So
just redirect.
I used to have the kids' Wi-Fi go off at 11:30 or something like that.
No, mine goes off before that, but if they haven't cleaned their rooms when they get home from school, there's no Wi-Fi. But anyway.
Yeah, but now with cell phones, it doesn't matter.
Oh no, those are controlled too.
Okay. Anyway, guys,
don't look at my DNS keys, Chris. Kidding.
What? Oh, hold on.
No.
All right.
Anyway, guys, next week.
Yep, see you next week, guys.
Bye, everyone.